Understanding the purpose of passive voice negative statements. Hello language explorers. Welcome back to another exciting video on learning English grammar. Today, we are going to dive into the topic of passive voice negative statements. Specifically, we'll focus on understanding the purpose of using these structures. Don't worry if it sounds a bit complex right now, we're going to break it down together. Before we get into the purpose, let's take a moment to remind ourselves of what passive voice negative statements are. These are statements that express an action which has not been done to the subject, using the passive voice. For instance, the letter was not written by her. In this sentence, the action of writing, the letter, is not done by the subject, her. Now, why would we use passive voice negative statements in English? There are a few reasons. 1. Emphasize the action, not the actor. In English, we often use the passive voice to put the focus on the action or the object that's receiving the action, rather than who's performing the action. This is especially true when the actor is unknown, irrelevant, or we want to avoid mentioning them. The negative form adds another layer, implying that the action was not carried out. 2. Politeness or formality. Sometimes, using the passive voice can sound more formal or polite, especially in negative forms. This is particularly useful in professional or academic contexts, or in situations where we want to avoid direct blame. 3. Narrative and stylistic choices. Lastly, passive voice negative statements can be a tool for narrative and stylistic choices, helping to vary sentence structure or create a specific tone or atmosphere. Let's look at a few examples to better understand these purposes. 1. The documents were not signed. Here, the focus is on the action, signing the documents, that didn't occur, rather than on who didn't sign them. 2. Mistakes were not made. This passive negative statement avoids directly attributing the blame to anyone. 3. Unfortunately, the cake was not baked in time for the party. This sentence conveys a sense of disappointment and creates a specific tone. So there you have it. We use passive voice negative statements in English to shift the emphasis, demonstrate politeness, or make narrative and stylistic choices. Remember, language is a beautiful and flexible tool. Practice using these structures to enrich your English skills. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you found this video helpful. Happy learning, and see you in our next video.